Connor, when you're in the middle of a losing streak like you are right now, how do you balance kind of the frustration of being in that place with also knowing that you got to have some positive energy to get where you want to go?
Well, I mean, you obviously want to be more positive than the other one. Obviously, we're not happy with how the last stretch of games have gone. The only way out of it is to play better and to win games. So that's obviously the main focus.
The Leafs had some success against you here last year, and I know it's somewhat different teams in a different year, but is there a style that you absolutely need to play against this core group that works better?
Yeah, they were a good team last year. They're a good team again this year. They have great forwards. Their goalie's been playing well. Their back end's solid too. So, they're a good team, and it's going to take a good effort from us to get it done.
Connor, we don't know right now about Zach Hyman, but just a thought on what he's brought your team and maybe the energy level and their work rate that he consistently, if you can maybe speak to that a bit.
Yeah, he's obviously a guy that brings it each and every night. You're going to get out of Hymes, and he's come in and he's done everything that he's been asked, and he's been a great addition for our group, both on and off the ice.
Connor, a bunch more COVID stuff this morning across the league. Some in Boston, Matt Barzal, 3 more in Calgary, Carolina last night. What are you guys saying in the dressing room about this, and how are you feeling about where we're going here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a question that's a lot more than hockey. Obviously the cases are kind of going up around, everywhere, and obviously we're paying attention and trying to keep each other safe.
Connor, I was with Connor Bedard the other day, and he was telling me that he trained with you one day over the summer. I wonder if you can recollect what your impressions of him were.
Yeah, he was in Toronto skating with Gary and the crew there, and it was kind of early on in the summer. I was just kind of getting back into it, and skated with him the one day, and first and foremost, just obviously very impressed with his skill level, the way he shoots the puck, and it was eye popping. So, he's a young kid, and it's an amazing thing that he's done to make that team at such a young age, and it's exciting for everybody.
You made that team at the same age. I know that particular year didn't go well for Canada, and they underused you. But what advice would you give a 16-year-old going into that tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a long time ago, I just remember, it can be a little bit overwhelming at that age. You're so young, and you're stepping into kind of the first games on the big stage, with that comes, the social media and lots of attention and stuff like that. And for me and our team that year, things didn't go all that well. So, there was lots of negativity around that. And I remember it being, difficult. So I would say just for him, just to keep an even, sorry, this guy's just messing me up. Sorry. I'm losing my train of thought, but I would say just, for him just to go in and have fun and just to maybe stay off of social media for a little bit through that time, because it can be a little bit negative.
Connor, you talked about the COVID before, so give us a percentage on whether you want to go if there's isolation for 3 to 5 weeks in Beijing. How unsettling is that thought for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously going to be a very fluid situation, and we need to continue to gather all the information that there is. I think there hasn't been a ton of information come out, and all of a sudden there's that 3 to 5 week thing that it's kind of been floating around. So just trying to gather all the facts and information, and Obviously it's unsettling if that were to be the case when you go over there. So, obviously I'm still a guy that's wanting to go play in the Olympics. But we also want to make sure it's safe for everybody and for all the athletes, not just for hockey players.
So if it did come down to 3 weeks, would you just say no way, Jose?
I'm not in the position to make that decision today. Again, we got to gather all the facts and all the information and go from there.
Connor, yesterday Leon mentioned how, the whole team, a little bit of a funk 5-on-5. It says almost to the point where you don't feel you can make a play. Those are his words, not mine. And he just says, but you have to grind through that. This team, you're the only team in the NHL that's actually undefeated when you score first, right? Can you talk about just the mindset and how much, do you notice it on the ice and how different the game is if you score first?
I think the mindset for a lot of teams when they play our group is just check and defend hard and not give up any space. And when you manage to play with the lead, it kind of changes how they have to play. They have to open up a little bit. They have to bring the game to us a little bit. When we're chasing the game like we have been lately, teams can kind of sit back and really clog it up. And I think that obviously for us playing with the lead is big. But 5-on-5 overall, I think, we haven't been our best probably. I think there's that happens. Things dry up through a course of an 82-game season, and obviously we're going through that right now.
And lastly, normally wouldn't ask it in this kind of form. We'd be in the room, but when you wake up this morning, are you a shoveler? Are you shoveling out pretty quick? How does that work?
I actually I'm lucky enough to have a heated driveway, so it kind of just melts.
Smart veteran move.
But it was definitely a good dump we got last night. Thanks.
Is Hyman in tonight?
Hyman is not in tonight.
Not in tonight?
Tonight. Duncan Keith just came off the ice. If he gets the okay from the doctors and trainers, he could be in tonight.
And you would pair him with Cece, we assume?
Probably, yeah.
You look at your team about scoring first, Dave, and you talked about it. Connor just mentioned how as much as it is about your team, it forces the other team to play different. You're the only team left in the league that's undefeated when you score first. So Captain Obvious says it's important for you guys to do it. But do you notice a difference in how your team plays if you score first?
Yeah, the team that scores first, you get momentum in the game first. You know, we've had some times where we feel like we've had momentum and not scored, and all of a sudden it goes the other way. You know, we get like the other night where we feel like we're starting all right, and all of a sudden take a penalty and it goes against us. Now you're chasing the game, and especially when you're not scoring or things haven't gone as well as you like, it puts extra burden on your mind. You got to get out there and get going, right? You get a lead, you play more confident. Your team plays more confident all the way through. Everybody, it seems like all the lines become factors in when you have a lead. When you're chasing, you get erratic.
Dave, I know we've kind of talked about the scoring slump for the last few days, but I mean, there were some guys who the expectation or the hope this season was strong secondary scoring, a couple goals every 10 games. But now when you have several players where it's, 10, 12, 15 or whatever without a goal, like how are they doing? Do you sense it's weighing on them?
Oh, I'm sure it weighs on you, but you got to work through it. There's no other way to do it, right? You work through it. We can talk all we want about it, but guys got to get out there and find a way to get the job done. And it's not as if they don't want to score. They all want to score, but it's when you get into a rut like this, you got to work your way out of it. You earn that confidence that you need to get the job done.
Maybe a thought on the Leafs. Some of their high-end talent is playing pretty well and putting up some points, but overall their depth as well. Just how big a challenge are they, and what do you see as the? Oh,
they're a good team. Their power play is rolling right now, so you got to respect what they have over there. But we got to get our group together here. We're more worried about what we're doing right now. Understand you're playing a good team, but we got to play well.
So when it comes to scoring first, I'm sure that you don't stand in front of your team and say, hey, it's really important we score first. I get that. But it would change things a lot for your team to look up at the scoreboard and get an early lead and not be chasing the game. How do you walk the line between putting too much emphasis on something you can't really control and maybe reminding guys it wouldn't be a bad idea?
You know what? It's about talking about the process of how we have to play to win the game. And if you're playing that way, you should be able to find a first goal. If you're playing well, if you're going out there and playing well, you're going to give yourself a better chance for that first goal and things move ahead. You don't say, okay, we have to score the first goal, so you just leave everything else behind and let's go score the first goal. We got to play well. We got to play well in the whole game. You get the first goal, it's an advantage.
The way the teams want to play against you, does it just allow them to play that way when they've got a lead? Like teams like to play you guys a certain way and tight and cut your guys down, and it just lets them do that?
Yeah, it gives them an advantage in the game. They don't have to chase the game. When a team has to chase the game, that's when you have to open up, take chances. When you're leading the game, teams don't do that.
Dave, Niemelainen's still going to keep playing on the third pair? Niemelainen?
Yeah, Niemelainen will play tonight, yep.
And Devon Shore will be on that third line with...
We've got some tinkering to do there. We'll see where it pans out here after.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Well, I'm just wondering if you can just take us back, if you don't mind, first of all, to the play where it seemed you got hurt in Dallas. Are you at liberty to kind of describe what happened and what's been going on since?
No, I don't need to get into how the injury happened, but I'm ready to go. I feel good now, so ready to go. When
you're going through the time, to recover, and I know you're a veteran and you've been through a lot, but what are some of the things you focus on or the mindset you try to be on to be sharp when you're back?
Just doing everything I can to keep my energy up, and a lot of working out, a lot of training, just, lots of things that you can do in the gym. So watched games, get a different perspective watching sometimes, and but just kind of focused on all the things that you normally focus on even if you're playing.
And obviously you're coming back at a time where the team's in a bit of a slump here. From your experience, when a team's having a tough go, what are some of the important things to work through that and keep the positivity up so you can get back on the winning side?
I think it's just building on little things out there that happen, whether it's little details or, shift by shift. And you just build slowly, shift by shift, period by period, not get too down. A lot of good teams in the league, and not every game's going to go our way, but there's definitely things that we could focus on to keep trying to, build ourselves out of this.
What's it been like watching these guys play when it's not going their way? You're watching them, they're slumping, nothing's going in, they lost 5 in a row. And can you be part of that solution even when you're not playing, or you need to be in a lineup to actually be part of helping this team?
I think you need to be on the ice to do much. I mean, it's on the ice is where it gets executed, and I think that we've had some chances there. There was some tough bounces last few games. We had a really good game against Boston, I thought. So sometimes when you don't get that win, it can eat at you a little bit, but it's important to stay positive through that, knowing that we did some good things, but obviously there's things that we can build on and get better at, and we're going to need to get better at.
There's just sitting here today, these COVID tests have been coming in from around the league. Marchand and Craig Smith and Barzal and the Carolinas and the Flames, 3 more. And what is the average NHLer thinking about this? Are you guys, is it reminiscent of what we were hearing a couple of years ago, or where are you with all this?
I don't even want to get into it. Honestly, Mark, I don't even want to get into that. It's just, it is what it is now. It's too bad. It's frustrating. I mean, obviously, Flames have got a lot of guys in the protocol, and it's just something that we've got to deal with now.
Duncan, I was looking, only twice in your career you missed more than 8 games. How are you as somebody like sitting up there in the press box? Is it like the worst thing for you? Are you like a bad press box guy?
Well, I mean, it's definitely different. I hadn't really spent much time up there, even when I was injured before, but figured it was an opportunity to get a different perspective. And there's some positive, you got to take positive things out of the situation. So I tried to do that and tried to get a different view up there. It was interesting, but obviously it's not where you want to be. It's not where you feel like you can help the team. And but having said that, I try to do my best coming in the lineup here now. I'm excited to get back in.
Dave mentioned after the last loss that he wanted better puck movement from the defenseman up to the forwards. Prior to being injured, you led the team in completed passes, outlet, and stretch. Is that an area you feel really comfortable you can come back and help and get the puck up, and maybe that will help your team generate a little bit more 5-on-5?
Yeah, I'll try my best. I think that's always been part of my game, getting back for pucks and trying to make good breakouts and getting the puck into our forwards' hands as quick as we can. We have to have forwards getting back, getting open as well, so it kind of works both ways in that regard. I try to do my best in that regard and help the team get pucks going the other way.
And when you watch from the press box, you know, lots of guys say, like, the game seems so much easier up there. It's slower, you feel like there's more time. But when you're on the ice and you look at how your team plays and maybe even other teams, is there more of an emphasis? You've always been aggressive, you like to attack in how you defend. Is standing up on the line, like limiting zone entries, is it more prevalent? Is it more important today than it was in previous years, do you feel?
I don't think it's more important. I think it's the same importance, which is, you know, it's huge, having a good gap. But again, that's reliant on all 5 guys. You need to have back pressure, and it's a good third guy high. Otherwise, you know, you get burned once, and then it's going the other way, and, you know, it's a dangerous chance. So, but there's a fine line. I think you want to be aggressive and hold the line and have a good gap and go the other way, be able to transition and attack back as quick as we can. But it's got to be all 5 guys.
So defending a zone entry really is going to be dependent on almost every situation on where that third forward is coming back from a defender for you? Is that if you feel that you've got support, then you can step up more comfortably, and if you don't, then you'd rather kind of back off a bit?
I think so, yeah. I think that's pretty standard. You want to have support back if you're going forward. You want to make sure that there's guys come back in case the puck goes behind.
All right, thank you.